The Zephyros auction house floated in the neutral zone between three star systems, a glittering testament to excess where the galaxy's wealthy came to acquire their treasures. Freya stood in the back corner of the grand hall, her worn jacket drawing disapproving glances from the silk-draped Valorians and chrome-plated mechanites who filled the ornate rows of seating. She wasn't supposed to be here. Her credentials were borrowed, her account balance laughable, and her ship was currently held together with salvaged parts and desperate prayers. But Freya had learned long ago that fortune favored the desperate. Lot 847. The auctioneer announced, his eyes blinking in sequence as he consulted his datapad. One Type 7 human military vessel, decommissioned. Extensive armor plating, outdated propulsion systems, no AI core. Viewing indicated severe interior damage, and he paused, mandibles clicking with distaste. Primitive design aesthetics. The holographic display materialized above the auction floor, showing a bulky, angular ship that looked like someone had welded together geometric nightmares, where Valorian vessels curved like art and mechanite craft gleamed with perfect symmetry. The ship was all hard edges and brutal functionality. Scorch marks scarred its hull, and several panels hung at odd angles. We begin bidding at 500 credits. The auctioneer droned. Silence. Freya leaned forward, her heart hammering. She recognized that design, old Earth Navy, probably from the Outer Colonies War, before humanity had learned to make ships that pleased alien sensibilities. For 100 credits, the auctioneer tried, his tone growing desperate. More silence. A Valorian in the third row made a sound that might have been laughter. 100 credits. Surely someone. 10 credits. Freya called out, her voice cutting through the murmurs. Every eye in the auction house turned toward her. The auctioneer's translator struggled with what might have been surprise or disgust. Miss, the minimum bid increment is. Your charter states that in the absence of competitive bidding, the auctioneer may accept any offer to move inventory. Freya interrupted, reciting the regulation she'd memorized during her 6-hour wait. Section 47, paragraph 12. The auctioneer's skin flushed and annoyed purple. He consulted his datapad, mandibles working furiously. Finally, he looked up. 10 credits. Going once. Going twice. He paused, as if hoping someone would save him from this embarrassment. Sold to the human in the back. Freddy was waiting at the dock when Freya arrived, his engineer's toolkit slung over one shoulder and a skeptical expression on his face. Please tell me you didn't actually buy a ship, he said. I bought a ship, Freya confirmed, practically vibrating with excitement as she led him through the maze of docking bays. Freya, we talked about this. We need credits for food, fuel. Basic. He stopped dead as they rounded the corner, and the ship came into view. Oh hell, isn't she beautiful? She looks like someone drop-kicked a warehouse through a meteor field. Freddy walked slowly around the vessel, his engineer's eye cataloging every dent and burn mark. This is Earth Navy, Type 7 assault frigate. They stopped making these 70 years ago. 68 years, Freya corrected, already climbing the access ladder. Come on, the interior was worse than the exterior. Consoles had been ripped out, leaving gaping holes in the command deck. The crew quarters were flooded with some kind of luminescent fungus. The engine room looked like it had hosted a small war. Freddy ran his hand along a bulkhead, and his expression shifted. Wait, this is actual steel plating, layered. And this, he tapped another section. This is carbon titanium composite. Freya, do you know what this would cost to replicate? The auction listing said extensive armor. Extensive? Freddy laughed, the sound echoing through the empty corridors. This thing is a flying bunker. There's more armor here than on most modern cruisers. Everyone else just uses energy shields now. Shields fail, Freya said quietly. Armor doesn't. Freddy was grinning now, that wild look he got when he found a problem worth solving. The propulsion system is actually brilliant chemical nuclear hybrid, completely independent of antimatter fuel networks. And look at this. He pointed to a series of manual override levers. Everything has a mechanical backup. No AI required. They spent the next 3 hours exploring. What had seemed like primitive design revealed itself as something else entirely. Redundancy. Every system had a backup. Every backup had a manual override. The ship could function with half its systems destroyed. In the armory, Freya found lockers full of kinetic weapons, actual projectile guns that fired metal slugs. Primitive, reliable, devastating at close range. Nobody builds like this anymore, Freddy said, examining the reactor core. It's all efficiency and elegance now. But this, he patted the reactor housing affectionately. This was built by people who knew that space was trying to kill them and planned accordingly. The mechanite patrol ship appeared 3 days later, when Freya and Freddy were still cleaning fungus out of the environmental systems. Its sleek form cut through space like a knife, all smooth curves and pulsing energy. Unknown vessel. You are in violation of mechanite territorial space, a synthesized voice announced. Prepare to be boarded. Freya looked at Freddy. They both knew they hadn't crossed any borders. This was a shakedown pirates with government paint jobs. This is the independent vessel. Freya paused, looking at the command console where she'd taped a handwritten label. Stubbornness, we're just passing through. Your vessel is flagged as derelict. We're claiming salvage rights. Freddy's hands flew across the engineering console. Shields are still offline. We've got maybe 40% power. The mechanite ship fired a warning shot that splashed harmlessly against their armor plating. Freya felt something shift inside her. The same instinct that had made her bid on this impossible ship. She pulled up the weapons systems, half of them red-flagged as non-functional. But half still worked. Freya? Freddy's voice was cautious. They're used to fighting ships with shields, she said slowly. Ships that dance and dodge. They're not used to fighting something that just doesn't care. She angled the stubbornness directly toward the patrol ship and engaged full thrust. The old chemical engines roared to life, pushing them forward with raw, unsophisticated power. The mechanite ship fired again. Energy beams that would have collapsed most shields simply scorched new marks into armor. That had weathered worse. Freya returned fire. Kinetic round stupid chunks of metal accelerated to ridiculous speeds, punched through the patrol ship's elegant energy shields like they weren't even there. The mechanite ship broke off, its AI clearly confused by an opponent who fought like it was already dead. As they crossed into truly neutral space, Freddy started laughing. They built this ship during a war, when humanity was losing, when we didn't have fancy shields or AI or any of that. We just had stubbornness and spite and metal. Freya ran her hand along the scarred console, feeling the ship hum around her. Nobody wanted this ship because it doesn't fit their idea of what a ship should be. But we're human, she said, smiling. We've never cared much about what things should be, only what they can do. The stubbornness flew on, ugly and outdated and absolutely perfect, carrying to humans who understood that sometimes the best weapon isn't the newest or the prettiest. It's the one that refuses to quit.